Hi, so I just wanted to do an update video. One, to say thank you because I posted some articles this week and this morning I had like over 900 hits, so that's great. It did crash my site for a minute, but I took care of it, so hopefully that won't happen again. I'm really glad that people are, spreading the word and sharing it on Facebook and Twitter and Reddit and wherever. Please keep doing so. I really would love to see it get around. But I wanted to do an update video kind of on my health and just to give you an update on where I am. Because I know I've been posting about having had a couple of different procedures the last few weeks. The first thing that I had was because of my primary immune deficiency disease. A couple of years ago when I was first diagnosed, I did this treatment that was like really strong, heavy, extended period of antibiotics. And when you do that, there's a very good chance that you can really damage your teeth, and I did. So I ended up like having never had a cavity in my life before, having like 12 cavities. And so I went and got them all filled a couple of weeks ago, which was fine because I did it under sedation. So it really was not a big deal for me at all, except for financially, which is can't be helped. Um, yeah, and so the next week I ended up having to have an endoscopy, which again is not a big deal. I have gastroparesis, which I'm just kind of like learning the word for now, even though I've probably had it for a few years. And basically that's when your GI system just doesn't like work on its own, just very often. And I've been on a couple different medications through the years for it, but they're, I think, really the best thing to do for it, from what I'm reading and looking around at, and maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the thing to do for it is to stay on a half liquid, half solid diet and try and not use as medication as much as possible, just because it seems like all the medications sort of like wear out over time, and then people have to have feeding tubes. So I really don't want to have a feeding tube because I had a taco last night and it was delicious. And so I'd like to continue eating tacos for the rest of my life and making bad choices like that. Anyways, so I ended up having two endoscopies, one on a Thursday and one on a Monday, because the first one they did, they had to abort because of a choking risk. And so they did the second one. And that's that. I'm just kind of looking at my treatment options right now and not making any major decisions. And I've been on Disipramine, which is a medication that kind of like calms your GI system and stops the pain, which has been amazing for me. Before I got on it, I was on a liquid diet for a couple of weeks and I hadn't eaten anything, and suddenly I could eat like everything. So it's like been a miracle medication for me. But I'm trying to get off the medication, just you know, because I can't, the more you use the medications, the less active, the less effective they are. So anyway, I'm still looking at treatment options. I'd love to hear from anybody who has gastroparesis because I really don't, know as many people as I do who have POTS. So I'm not really sure where to look yet for resources on that. So when I find them, I will share them. And what else has happened? Oh, in 2 weeks, I have a sleep study coming up, and I'm really excited because I've just been sleeping nonstop for the last couple of weeks, and I've been trying everything I possibly can, like from that Spark drink, which has caffeine in it, and I try not to drink caffeine. So I've been trying that. I've been like trying to like force myself to stay awake during the day so that I can sleep through the night, but I just end up sleeping through the day and sleeping through the night, so that's not normal. So hopefully I'll have the sleep study done and we'll figure it out and I'll get it treated and I'll be able to go back to staying awake all day and being able to work full time and not having a problem with that. Although I am still working, I'm still working for Global Genes, and if you haven't checked it out, you really should, because we have a couple of really great new series coming out. We're just kind of finishing up one called Chronically Employed, which is all about different options that you have instead of going on disability. And it's interviews with people who had like sudden illnesses when they had like full-time jobs, and suddenly they either had to find a new career or find a way to do their job with their disability, or start a new business of their own. And some of their stories are so incredible and so awesome. And when you compare them to the nightmare of going through filing for disability in America, you will want to do what they have done. So I definitely recommend you check that out. I'll try and include a link to it somewhere here. Um, I'm still dealing with the POTS. I'm doing saline therapy once, sometimes twice a week with Dr. Santa Maria, and I'm still taking beta blockers. I take Lipressor twice a day, and I actually forgot to take my medication the other day, and I did a post on it because I forgot to take it in the morning. Like I just kind of took it out of the pill case and put it on my counter, and then just like forgot to take it. And so in the middle of the day, I like laid down and I checked my pulse, and it was like 150 lying down, which is like the highest I've ever clocked it when I'm like half asleep. So that scared the crap out of me. But when I remember to take my medication, I do really, really well. So yeah. So keep following me on my blog. I'll continue to post about things that I really have no authority to give advice on, but you read it anyway, so that's great. All right. Oh, and I wanted to say thank you because a lot of people have written letters and messages on Facebook, and like I love reading that stuff. I love knowing that the blog has been helping, or it makes you laugh, or it takes 5 minutes out of your day that you would have spent crying. Whatever. I'm glad. And I'm hoping right now I'm working on, or I have already worked on, now I am trying to pitch a proposal for a book for young adults and 20 somethings about living life with chronic illness and trying to find jobs and relationships and be independent while still kind of like dealing with things like Ehlers-Danlos or Crohn's disease or POTS or gastroparesis. So um, I'm really hoping that I find someone who likes the idea as much as I know that the people who read my blog would like it. And as soon as I get any news at all, even a glimmer, tiny glimmer of hope about it, I will definitely share it with you guys. Thank you again so much for reading, and I hope that you are all feeling better.